Hey there, my name is Gabrielle, and welcome back to the Tongue of Light YouTube channel, where we dive into some interesting topics to help you expand yourself in your life. So, today is a very close to home topic to me. It's all about the vessel coming home. And I've worked with many people over the years with helping themselves either come out of being kind of in like an autopilot mode into expanding themselves into the unknown of it all. Let's say consciousness, right? But I've also helped people who are in consciousness come back down and ground themselves so that they're not overindulging in that and not living in the human experience in balance. So I kind of want to go over some things. Now it's going to get more advanced as these videos go forward. And what I mean is on the topic of the vessel, because this is one of many, sorry. So we're kind of starting in the beginning. I want to get you guys familiar with what I'm kind of referring to, what I'm talking about when I mean the vessel, and how it works. So I'm trying to get you to come home to your body. And the body speaks through many different things. And I want to kind of open your awareness today on how it's already been talking to you and maybe how you have not been quite picking those signals up. So, without further ado, let's get into it. But I do want to know I am not a doctor. Okay, I'm not a licensed professional. And for mental health situations, go see a licensed professional for that. Just something I have to be transparent about in this video, as we're going to be talking about some medical things and bringing those to light. So, first off, I want to talk about energy retention. And that's one of the goals here that we're supposed to learn is how to balance our energy and not always feel depleted. And most of the times when I am working with people, that is the thing that is super consecutive is I'm drained. I feel like I can't work on my goals, what I want to do. I'm tired all the time. And that's because we are not living in harmony with our body. So we are just constantly overextending ourselves and we're living in this survival state instead of just simply taking care of the pot. So we'll refer to us as a plant, right? And our body is the pot. And if we don't nurture the soil, then the plant can't really grow. It probably dies. So you've probably been repeating this pattern. And when you're forced to just like sit still and rest, you're still overextending in that. And then you'll get a little bit of energy and then you quickly burn it out. Okay, and you're like, I'm tired again. Life sucks. Well, yeah, is going to look like it sucks because you're literally not living by your design. You're constantly tired, constantly exhausted. You want to work on things that make you successful, creative, and then we start blaming other things like mundane things, like our job, right? So I also want to get into that. So we're going to get deeper into this as we go. These are just some examples. So I want to start, and I do have my little notebook with notes because right before this, I was feeling it, and I want to make sure that I give you guys all the information. So I want to go over some things first that drain us. And the first one that I put down is people pleasing. And this is probably one of the biggest ones that I see amongst people is when we are actively doing things that don't resonate with us, but we're continuously doing it for the comfort of other people. So this could even include showing up in certain areas just so somebody feels comfortable with that, maybe switching the way that we're authentic with our voice. I fall into many of these categories, and I used to be a huge people pleaser. So especially even with my family, I was just constantly doing things to their design and their what is it called? I know that it's in here somewhere. It's like their expectations of you. So when we're living by other people's expectations, we're not living authentically. We are just living the life that those people have designed for us. And it's actually like a cage, because technically these people aren't doing it to us. We're doing it to ourselves by assuming and taking on that role. So say you have a friend, and like that friend doesn't like certain things. And so you kind of veer off from expressing yourself in that way because that friend doesn't like it. Well, that's not being authentic to yourself, and that is hindering your growth, and that is keeping you small. That is a drainer. If you're going and doing things because other people ask you to, or you feel bad for them, that is draining. Okay? And a lot of people are subconsciously manipulative. And especially if you're a people pleaser, it's really easy to get trapped into those situations. And at the end of the day, it's exhausting, and it really is not good and healthy for you. So if you're a people pleaser, it's kind of like right in front of you. A lot of people pleasers that I've come across are very much well aware of it. So, and that's okay, because we can work on it. We're going to work on it, okay? So like throughout this, let's hold some grace and like for yourself to kind of unfold into the new version of yourself. Because this doesn't mean that you're a bad person. This doesn't mean that you're unworthy. This doesn't mean that you've been doing it wrong. This means that right now is the time to awaken to these things and stop draining yourself to fit into the box for other people and the other things we're going to list. So the next one here is running on autopilot and not from a place of knowing yourself. So what I mean by this is when we're constantly looking outward for permission, when we're looking for other people to tell us how to live our lives, like, hey, should I do this or should I do this? And you're externalizing that, you're draining yourself, because you do have all the answers within you. And it just takes a moment like this. Peace. Rest. Silence. And like a lot of people can't do that. I never used to. So like I am the product of this. I had to go through all of this, which is why I'm talking to you about it, because I'm very passionate about it, because I broke the cycle. So being able to sit there with yourself in a quiet space, calming your body and asking yourself, these questions, should I make this decision or should I make this decision? And I guarantee your body will naturally tell you which one it is. It's actually quite amazing. I remember the first time I started doing this, it freaked me out a little bit because I'm like, whoa, my body is actually talking to me. And that's a part of your intuition. So you're not meant to just fully depend on people and have others navigate you through life. You have your own wisdom and your own internal compass, and that's what we're trying to trust in today. So knowing yourself and trusting yourself is super, super important with connecting to your vessel and being able to move with life to your design, because whatever anybody else's design is, it's not meant for you. Okay, that is for them. And although maybe you want to experience some things that they do, sure, you can do that, but it's going to be by your design and your paved way. How many people do you see, let's take an example, like on Instagram, that are selling courses on money? Okay, and they're like, well, I have the way. I have the way. Well, that just shows you that each and every one of those people lived by their own design. They had their own blueprint, and now they're showing you. But really, you also have your own design that you can get there as well, which is super interesting. So living on autopilot and always externalizing and not trusting yourself and double guessing yourself is a huge one. Is very draining, because then you're more chaotic, you're overwhelmed, you have anxiety, and you're like, where do I go? And then you feel helpless and lost, and it spirals. It's very draining and hard on the body, and it puts you into wanting to be in survival mode. Okay, so next one here, we have staying in habits and places that you have outgrown or brings no pleasure. This is a really big one. So I even put down jobs with that. So a lot of people get trapped into jobs or opportunities that they don't like anymore. And what happens is they just stay doing that job for years and they're not happy. And that's not by your design. I'm sorry. If there's something that is not bringing you joy and you're not passionate about, or if you're not learning something and that kind of like contributes to your passion, it's probably not meant for you. So we want to relook at our world and how we're living every day and what makes us feel good, what brings us pleasure. Is it working on that hobby? Okay, so like, why aren't we working on that hobby a little bit more? And it's probably because we're drained. So this is what I'm trying to save you from, is being able to transition from a life of I'm drained and I can't put any more of myself out. Like, you shouldn't have to just come home, sleep, eat, work, and repeat. And like, there's no time for play, there's no time to experience an adventure, there's no time for your passions. Like, that is not how you're supposed to live. And if that is what you're living in right now, that is not by design. That is not how your vessel wants to experience this life. So we're cracking out of this. Jobs create a lot of fear. So when we're not able to move from a job or an opportunity, most likely it's because of fear, and we're thinking, "Oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my bills? How is this transition going to go?" And it's like, why, how, what? And yes, like, that is a normal human reaction, but that is also a very anxious one and a non-trusting one. We want to learn how to surrender and trust. So if your body is telling you, I'm ready for a new opportunity, and if you're thinking it in the first place, that is you speaking, okay? That is you saying, I am ready for something new, and this does not fit, and this does not make me happy anymore. And so we now have to make those moves to comfort our nervous system, because now your body's like on overload. It's like, oh my God, can I do this? And it's time to parent yourself into those new experiences and follow the direction of what your body is telling you, because you wouldn't have it if it wasn't for you. And this also, it comes into like confidence. We need to have more confidence in ourselves to be able to make the moves that are coming through for us, okay? Everything is going to work out. You wouldn't be asked to transfer into something if it wasn't divinely guided and orchestrated, okay? And whether or not you believe there is that force or not, it's there, and it's been proven to you throughout your life. If you look at every situation that you've been through, has it not led to a solution? Has it not led to a new avenue and everything has been okay? Like, you're here, you're still experiencing, you learned lessons from it. That is the point of life. Like, you're here to be a gatherer of knowledge, and also like the embodiment of expressing your own light. And if we're not listening and we're not grounded to it, we are lost. And I wouldn't even doubt if like a lot of my collective feel a little bit lost out here, sad, angry, upset, not wanting to be here. Like, those are big emotions and big red flags showing you that you're not connected to your inner world. And when you start to switch that up and trust yourself a little bit more and really open yourself up to learning yourself, it will completely change your life. It's going to be an incredible journey, and you'll start to live by your own design without needing any validation from other people, okay? So make the steps that are coming through for you, and then work for yourself. So if there's like a hobby that you want to do, start putting in more effort into that. Start maybe like when we pan out our life, right, and we start seeing the things that aren't working for us, stop feeding your energy into those, retreat, and start putting energy towards where you want to go. So if you want success, if you want to make money off of doing your passions, okay, and don't play the trick card of like, doubting yourself. Oh, I can't make money from this, or I'm greedy. No, everyone has a birthright to money, and there is enough for everyone. And that's going to be another video. Okay, that's a whole nother video. But you need to put energy into that. That is what lights you up. That is what pours into your cup and does not drain your cup. Okay, because right now you overextending yourself to other people, places, things that, lifestyles, like even habits. Okay, if you're smoking, if you're drinking, if you're overindulgent in sexual things, like there's like so many. If you are literally giving yourself up to these things in an unhealthy way with no balance, and you're dependent on these because of the emotional suppression and not knowing what to do, like most people, I've been there. I had to go through all of these type of habits and addictions, and the one thing that was screaming was I wasn't listening to my body. I wasn't taking the time to take these emotions, feelings, that my compass, I wasn't listening. And so I just suppressed it with all of these other things, thinking that it was going to help me, because why society taught me that. It puts it in your front of your face every day, like every other block you see, like a tobacco store or something. Like how is that not brainwashing? Okay, we're not taught how to come home here. We are now stepping into that right now, right? So reevaluate the things that you're putting into your body and why. Okay, if it's the past time, what? So I gotta smoke to pass time, and instead in that time I could be doing something that pleases me, that fills me up, not takes away my life force. Just think about it. And there's no guilt, there's no shame in this, okay? This is just awakening you to maybe the habits that we've been doing for so long, and they're not helping you. You're repeating the same cycle, okay? And at the end of the day, it probably doesn't make you feel good. When I was smoking, when I was drinking, I wasn't feeling revitalized. I was hungover the next day. I had to sleep all day. I was feeling drained from smoking. I'm like, ugh, this sucks. I need to go outside. Life sucks. I was literally I was supporting that thought of, I can't do it, I'm not enough, and there's not more out there for me, and this is the way. No, it's not. Then we have playing victim and perceiving your life as happening to you. So whenever we go through traumatic experiences or we go through life events like challenges, we sit there and we act as if it's happening to us. Oh my God, life is awful. There's always something. No, there's always something being brought to you to achieve, to learn, to grow, to receive. And when you don't see it as that, you are blocking yourself. You are actually chaining yourself down, and you're just like, yep, I'm not going to go anywhere, and I'm going to stay in this comfort because this is disrupting my cycle. Yes, it's trying to wake you up. It's trying to get you out of the things that you complain about. If you complain about money, and why I talk about money is because that's the number one thing people complain about. If you're complaining about money and something comes across for a change, like a job opportunity, and you're like, man, that would be nice, but I can't leave because then what about my bills? You just missed out on the blessing that was trying to come to you by taking the challenge of stepping through the discomfort and the unknown to get more money, to be happy and joyful, and maybe a different schedule that works for you to where you can then put into your passions. And we don't think of it like that. It's so human. We just think, wow, this is a disruptance in my day, and this is awful. It is like, no, allow yourself to be challenged. Allow yourself to step back from ego and say, I can learn. I need to learn. And when you can come from a place of wanting to learn and grow, it is going to open you up and you are going to live a very fulfilling life. But if you're sitting there and you're like, there's nothing more that I can learn, I already know that life is awful, there's nothing more that it can it can provide for me, I'm going to be stuck here. This is what the universe hasn't planned for me. Then you will. You will. And that is by your design. And that is what? Draining. Draining. Even talking about some of these, like I feel it energetically. It is siphoning. It is siphoning. I've been there. I know. It's awful. It feels awful. Okay? Every day, just feeling like just expecting the worst, okay? And then you receive the worst and you're like, this is just, I can't do this anymore. But I can promise you, you can change that just by taking actions to live by your design in your vessel. Okay, next one. We talked about consuming and addictions. I didn't much talk about like content, but how much content are you consuming? And it's just like leaving you drained and shocked. Like how much, like if you're consuming content, you have to weigh it. You have to do content that is fulfilling you. Okay, yeah, we can watch a little bit of stuff like and laugh at our favorite creators and get inspiration from them, but like to doom scroll and just to sit there and just not feed yourself things that is actually helping you towards the things that you desire is draining. Okay, like the internet was not meant to work in your favor in certain aspects. Like you have to be intentional, super intentional about it. So yes, get aware of it. Get aware of your habit. Stop. Like even like a lot of people tend to do these things when they're alone, when they have time by themselves. They can't stand silence. Why? Because the body is talking and they don't know how to like digest it. They don't know what to do with it. Guys, be in the silence. Listen and don't judge it and don't feel shame over it. It's not here to hurt you. Like emotions are not here to hurt you. They are here to pass by you. Okay? They're here to be released. And, you know, you just harboring onto these things and ignoring is draining. Because I also, this next one, this goes into it. So, carrying the weight of others' pains, expectations, and dimming yourself to meet them. A lot of you are sensitives, okay? Like when you go around other people, you feel their emotions. This is the biggest one I use with clients. You go into a room and then somebody, like you're joyful and happy, and then somebody comes up to you and you're like, you know, today was just awful. Today sucks. Like, I just can never catch a break. And then you go from hi to, oh yeah. And then, do you see how you just got dimmed? You know, because everyone has experienced this. And then you start to take that person's energy with you. And then you leave the place. And then now you're having a bad day. And you're like, I can't believe they were going through that. That just sucks. And it just turns into a cycle. You start doing it with everybody. And then we're not releasing it. We're not aware of it. So then we start manifesting that within our body. We're holding on to other people's things. So we have to be aware of the energy that we walk into a room with other people. And we need to leave that way. And we need to hold it. And although somebody else might be struggling and going through stuff, that is not your job to, one, fix them. And two, take the weight and the burden from them. Okay? And I know you're a very nice, caring, and loving individual, and you can still support someone in those ways without doing the work for them and lowering to their level. So imagine if you went in and you were more like, well, you know, I see it getting better for you, and I'm excited to see what this challenge is going to provide for you because I know it's going to be blessings. You're staying in that high vibration while also helping that other person get strength. When you lower down to that other person, you are validating them. You are validating their experience for them instead of telling them the absolute truth. It gets better. Okay? And it does. It really does. So you taking on other people's things, going by their expectations, and not having boundaries is a really big one with people. If you are not having boundaries, this here is just so corruptive. And I used to not be able to say the word no, and I was drained all the time. All the time. It was absolutely so crippling. And if you cannot tell your friend no, your family member no, yourself no, like your spouse, and it doesn't even just stop with the word no. It's like, oh, I feel uncomfortable with that, or I can't really hold the space for you right now. I'm sorry. Like, that is so valid, and yet we don't do it because of being afraid of what the other person is going to think and how they're going to judge us. So then we just like carry on, just dragging ourselves through everybody else's experience, not speaking how we feel. Draining. That one is probably one of the top ones that is just extremely bad for your body, because then you're also telling your body, like, it's like a respect thing. Like, I don't respect you, I don't respect how you feel, and like, although I feel that you are tired, I'm still gonna push you further to help somebody else when I can't even do it for myself right now. So just be aware of that. Like, if people judge you off of taking space or saying no and having boundaries, those people aren't meant for you. And we have to get comfortable with people here for a season. Okay? Not everybody is meant to be with you throughout your whole journey. Some people just do contracts with you to come here and give you a lesson for you to learn it and then move on. Okay? And yes, it hurts. Okay? It hurts. And that's what I'm trying to teach you. The emotions, feeling through those emotions so that you can get through to the other end. Okay? This is all a part of it. We can't just like harbor it within the body. And then we have to also understand and expand our mind. What are our expectations of other people? You know? I expect these people to stay in my life because of this, and no, like we can't do that. It is energetically draining. You can't have like a box for people. It's just not healthy. So not speaking your truth and living to your authentic design is absolutely draining. If you're not able to use your voice and say how you feel or say your desires, what you want, if you can't even say like, I love myself, stuff like that, is just, you don't have rapport with yourself. Okay, and we need to work on respect. We need to work on trust and surrender within the body. And that was my problem. So I want to share this with you guys. I was going through where I would say I would do something and then I wouldn't do it. And this could have been like to people or to myself. And I always let myself down. And so my body didn't trust myself. Because there was just multiple times where I just wouldn't back it up. So I had to start living in more integrity and more showing up for myself and proving to myself I can be that person that shows up and is dedicated and can be truthful. And once I started getting that rapport with myself, I was able to flourish. I was able to actually accomplish things and go through with it because I trusted that I absolutely could. So maybe right now, like, your body doesn't trust, or you don't trust your body to do it. Like, hey, I want to do this. No, I can't. Like, I'm not worthy enough for it. That means you have a disconnect. Okay? And we gotta connect to the realness of the body. And your throat is one of the most important things when it comes to like unlocking your authenticity. Speaking your truth is incredibly powerful. And if that is something that you struggle with, I highly recommend working on it, because there is nothing like being able to stand firm in what you believe in and who you are, and allowing that to unfold in whatever way that it is. Okay, it's going to get you through doors that you need to. It's going to get you in places where you're respected and loved, and you're not going to have these people just literally siphoning you and taking advantage of you with that voice. So highly recommend that. And then last but not least, what I have like as an energy drain is unhealed traumas. So a lot of people harbor things from childhood, from things inflicted on them, life events Even generational trauma passed down. We are harboring these traumas within our body and they manifest within us. So if you are not looking at the things trying to be healed or trying to come through situations that you've been through and you're just like, okay, I'm just going to shove this down and move on, you are not living by your design. You are not like giving yourself vital energy. You're actually siphoning yourself because you're choosing to keep that within your energy system, within the body. Like, and I'm getting there, but this actually does manifest physically within the body. So that's going to be the next tier. So the goal for energy retention is going to be boundaries. First and foremost, you got to have some boundaries and maybe write them down. You know, what are some things that are I can't allow this boundary, and start sticking to it to create trust within your body. Self-awareness, becoming aware of how your body speaks, becoming aware of what you like, what you dislike, how your body feels around certain people, certain like areas. That's very, very important because your body will tell you how something feels, okay? If it's right or if it's wrong, it's not for you. And your mind. Your mind will give you a lot of hints too. Become self-aware of that. Living from a place of passion. Okay, this is a really big one. Everyone in the world has some type of passion. They have something that literally lights them up, their art, okay? And it doesn't even just have to be drawing art. Like what I'm doing right now is my art. Okay, everybody has an art, something that they're passionate about. If we are not living by that design, it's not fulfilling us. And if we start doing that, we then will start to feel fulfilled in our life, and it will make us excited to get out of bed and to explore and, you know, figure out the unknown with it. Although it may be scary, it's still going to be exciting, okay? So that's something that fills you up. Then we have connecting from a place of love. A lot of people, you know, when we go back to playing victim and thinking that's happening to them, that's not living in a love frequency, okay? We want to see love around us. Wow, I just woke up today on a bed. Wow, I got to eat a meal today. Wow, I had a friend reach out to me. Oh my God, I had a partner that hugged me. Oh, you know, I love my children. No, I got to clean a house today. I got to take a walk today. I can walk, you know, like we have to find love around us and gratitude. It is going to explode you open with energy. It is probably one of the biggest things that you can do to fill yourself up. Gratitude is the practice, and your body will start changing. Like when I tell you, like I lost physical weight and like mental health problems for me started to fade once I really zoned into my body and what it was talking about. And I'm excited for this next area of topic because it was mind-blowing for me. So, and then the last one here is rest. So a lot of us are very resistant to rest. We don't want to take it. We're like, oh my God, I got stuff to do. I can't. No, you are actually hindering yourself by not doing that. And you just keep repeating the cycle. Whereas if you listen to your body and it goes, I am tired, and then you act on that and you take the time to rest, you will then be recharged where you can go and do more. But the goal here is energy retention. So you want to balance that. You want to catch it before that happens and figure out, and this takes years. This takes time, guys. Like I don't want you to think that this takes like overnight success. This is not. This is a journey. I'm being so real with you, but it's so fulfilling. And you want to get to the point where you understand how your body works, how your mind works, how you work, how you connect with everything. And you want to be able to balance it before it is able to just push you in a state of rest. You should be able to do things that you enjoy and balance that with rest automatically and not be pushed into rest is what I'm trying to get at. And you always will if you are drained. Okay? So, prioritizing your rest, your self-care, your self-love along with your passions, is very vital. So I want to talk about the trapped energies and how that manifests, okay? And I thought this was really interesting, and I kind of like put this together so I could read to you guys. So, emotional manifestations, and I kind of want to give you like a little bit of a background. Like when I was younger, I was constantly being hospitalized, like mental health issues, sickness. Like I was always sick. I would always just go to the doctor. That was my first thing. And now in years, I have not. Okay, I don't need to because I understand my energy. I understand my body and how it works. And when you start to literally understand this vessel that you are in, you will not have to rely on those things. And half of them are just suppressing you anyway. So, their cure is pills. Okay, and also doing the work, but a lot of people don't want to do the work. So be the one that does the work, because when you do the work, you won't have to rely on these things, and you're still not like harboring it. And is it really worth like all the side effects and all the things that you have to go through for it? It's honestly just also draining. Okay, so I want to talk about emotional manifestations first. So anxiety or panic attacks can really show up for you if you have experienced past survival energy that hasn't been discharged. So if you're in survival mode, you went through like something really traumatic, and you're just like, like say, for example, you go outside and you just always feel unsafe, and you're like always looking. You probably have suffered something in the past that is still being harbored within the body, and we have to release that. Mood swings and depression. These are emotions being repressed and pushed down. A lot of people fall into this category. Tell me why depression is one of the highest like things that we have in the world right now. And it's because nobody is taught how to go through this with their body, and they don't want you to know because it'll keep you stuck in the system of medicine and dependency and not being awake to yourself and keeping you into the slavery jobs. I'm literally just being real, okay? This is the time to unhook the hooks, okay? Because they can tell you this stuff, but you're also the one adopting it and holding yourself down. So let's take them off and let's start doing better for ourselves to be happier, healthier, joyful and abundant, because that is for everyone to experience if you choose and do the work. And it'll never, I think it's one of the best journeys, really, truly. If I'm looking at myself right now, and I would have never expected me to be here right now doing this. And I'm happy that I am. Truly, truly, truly. Emotional numbness and detachment. This happens a lot in the masculine energy. Disconnection from the body due to overwhelm or trauma. So a lot of times you're being suppressed in like when you're younger, and you just learn not to feel your emotions because you're told that that's weak. Okay, well, this can harbor because of that, and then you have trouble with making connections because you're just emotionally detached, and it's because it's just overwhelming. Okay, and you're disconnected from the vessel. But don't get me wrong, a lot of women go through this too. That they're more in like that masculine state, so they probably saw a daddy do it. I did. I still work on some of these. Okay, like it's a challenge. So this one's interesting. Physical manifestations within the body. So if you suffer from neck, shoulders, which is something I'm working through right now, like my shoulders have been really hurting. This is burden, stress, and responsibility. And I've gotten a lot more responsibility recently, and I have been just a tad bit stressed about it, overthinking it, and it probably has caused me some shoulder pain. So I'm currently working through that right now. If you have lower back, this one's a big one that I hear a lot. This one is financial fear and lack of support. Ooh, that one is just like super intense. Stomach, gut, fear, intuition ignored, or trauma in the digestion. If your hips are hurting, unprocessed grief, suppressed sexual energy, and emotional memory, that was one that I just moved through. So, and sometimes it'll come back. That's why you have to start listening to your vessel, okay? Because it'll tell you what needs to come up and come out, okay? And then you just work through it, get it out, and then you're good. And then if something else comes up, you're able to be aware of it and then do what you need to do to get rid of it. That is the process of the body, okay? Emotions are gifted. They are gifted. They're supposed to be felt. This is something that we signed up to experience, okay? So we have to learn them. We have to learn how to process them through our body, okay? That is one of the objectives. So start. So digestive issues is a suppression or nervous system dysregulation. We have autoimmune flare-ups, body attacking itself from internal conflict. Ooh, a lot of people have that one. A lot of people. And that's also not connected to yourself, right? And like what you know. So you're just always in conflict of what to do, where to go, because you don't have trust and surrender within your own self. Fatigue or burnout is another huge one. We've talked about this. When fight or flight energy is constantly running in the background, and whose isn't? Okay, the world that we live in is like purposely harvesting this and ingraining this. You're always seeing something happening and like exploding, and people are just like, we're creating this. And so, and it then reminds you of things that you went through, and then you can just keep continuing the cycle, because then we can play victim to ourselves, and it's just a continued cycle. So learn how to bring peace into your body by staying still. Challenge yourself. I challenge you to just stay still. Breathe. And enjoy the quiet without needing to do anything. Take the time out of your day just to do that for a little bit, and then you'll start getting more comfortable in that and your body, and you'll start enjoying peace again, okay? Because this quick energy of going and always worrying and fearing and stressing is just not how you are supposed to be by design. That is not healthy. That's draining, okay? Mental and energetic manifestation. So brain fog or lack of clarity is an overactive mind due to ignored emotions in the body. Looping thoughts or obsessive thinking is mental energy trying to solve what needs to be felt. That's something that I've definitely had to go through. Blocked creativity or spiritual insight. Energy can't move to higher centers if the lower ones are closed. So, we're going to have to talk about that in a different video. That's kind of like the chakras, okay, the energy centers, and I promise you, we'll get there, okay? This is just kind of like basic training, but once you also start understanding energy, oh my God, so next week's video is going to be about understanding energy, so I'll probably put it in that one, so you can so we're talking about the body, how it manifests, and then we can talk about the energy too. Along with what we've talked about in this video about being drained, but also how we can stop being drained and be fulfilled. So how trapped energy gets stored. The nervous system holds trauma when we don't complete the stress cycle, like shaking, crying, or running. So if you're somebody who holds back your tears, isn't active, things like that, you are harboring. Okay. I used to not be able to cry, and I had to go through the process of opening myself back up to crying. And now I do cry, and it feels absolutely amazing to let those emotions through. And once I do, afterwards, I feel amazing. So opening yourself up to that is incredible. I also like dancing. Dancing is really good for me when I'm feeling blocked or something's within my body. It helps me just kind of shake that off, shake that emotion through. Muscle memory literally locks in the physical reaction. So I've seen this too, with even just tightness. Right now it is my shoulders, and what I had written down is definitely connected to something that I'm going through, and it's manifested there. So connective tissues in the body is a major storehouse for emotional energy. And then it says your energy centers like chakras, they get blocked when a certain life area like expression, truth, trust, and pleasure is wounded. So, and a lot of us experience all of those. So that's why I say this is a process, because you are literally unraveling an onion forever. Okay? It's like you're really working through the deep layers of yourself, but what's fulfilling is you're learning about yourself more and more and more throughout that journey. So ways you can release this from the body. Creative expression. So writing, painting, speaking. Okay, that's something that I like to do. Intentional movement with emotion, like letting anger move through your arms or sadness move through your chest. Okay, just letting it flow and doing movement with it. One that I really like is also like giving myself a hug like this. This one really helps me if I'm sad or feeling alone and just need some extra support. Crying, laughing, dancing, and shaking it out. Movement is your best friend when it comes to relieving emotions. There's just something about the body and the energy with it. When you are moving and you're processing, it's going to make your body feel so much better than just standing still. And that's something I had to do with my hips the other week because they felt locked. They were really stiff. I was just harboring some like emotions within them. And I did like this really amazing yoga flow that came through me, and my hips have felt absolutely amazing. I just took the time to really process it. Sound. So humming, toning, screaming into a pillow. These are amazing ways to release things that I have definitely used. And then somatic practices. These are like shaking, stretching, TRE, and breath work. Breath work is another one that I absolutely love and highly recommend. So in every part of your body speaks a language. And I also kind of put down some things like tuning in on what it could be saying. So if you get tension, migraines, pressure, it's I'm thinking too much. I'm not giving space to feel. I need clarity and silence. The neck and shoulders is stiffness and heaviness. I'm carrying weight that's not mine. I feel responsible for everything. I don't trust that I can let go. Chest and the heart space, tightness, fluttering, or heaviness. I'm guarding my heart. I've experienced loss or betrayal. I want to love, but I'm scared. And I hope like some of these are resonating with you as I talk through them. See which one really jumps out to you. That's the point of this one right here. So we can kind of see where it is within our body. Shallow breathing for the lungs and breath. Breathlessness, I've been holding it all in. I'm not allowing myself to expand and receive life fully. Then we have the stomach and gut, bloating, nausea, and knots. I'm suppressing fear, intuition, or a truth that needs to be spoken. My lower back, aching, fatigue, tension. I don't feel supported. I'm afraid of not being safe and secure in the world. Hips and pelvis, tightness, stiffness, and pain. I've stored grief, sexual shame, and unprocessed anger here. I need to feel pleasure, move, and release. Legs and feet, restlessness, weakness, and tension. I'm afraid to move forward. I'm not fully grounded. I need to root down and feel safe to take steps. So something that I also wanted to bring to your attention is a really good way to kind of check in with your body after we talked about all that. That's going to be a whole lot to process. But if you just take the time even after this video to sit with your body and just observe it. Do like a scan, okay? And see where pain is. See what emotions come up. Even ask your body, what am I holding on to? What needs to be released? And the thing that pops up is the body speaking, and that's your focus. That is your first focus. So get comfortable with sitting and asking your body and checking in with yourself. It's so important. The way you check in with your friends, your family. You don't do it for yourself. Okay, like this is the connection that we need here. Okay, you need connection with yourself so that we can then pour in to other people. Okay, it shouldn't be the opposite of you pouring into them and not pouring into yourself, and by the time you get to yourself you have no time. That's not by design. So your body doesn't lie, and if you're not sure how it feels, ask it. And that's something that I'd love to help you guys with. If this is stuff that interests you and resonates, and you're like, man, I kind of want to like learn more, or this resonated, let's start a discussion even in the Discord. I'd love to do that with you. This stuff is very interesting, and I'm here to help you expand in it. Okay, I did the work so that I can then help you. Okay, and I don't mind. You're not a burden. I love you. Come in. Let's do it. And then the one last thing that I wanted to talk to you about on this episode with the vessel is how it actually replicates nature. So, how we have the seasons of spring, summer, fall, winter, your body is actually by design to do the same thing. Now, maybe it's not as as slow right now as the whole year. We have faster ones. So, say you're feeling an emotion and it's putting you into the winter phase, which is like healing, restoration, and rebirth time. It'll go to that, then it'll go to spring, then summer, then fall, which is spring is like the new phase of planting the seeds. Okay, it's coming awake, like I'm coming out of healing, I'm ready to take steps. And then summer is like reaping the harvest of your change. And then when we go back to fall, it's doing more work. We're feeling ourselves, feeling more things come up so that we can go back into a winter stage and repeat that. Okay. I bet you guys have heard too, and I bet a lot of you relate, when it comes to winter time, a lot of people just hate it. They get really depressed and upset. And it's because you don't know how to process. So actually wintertime is so symbolic and one of the most beautiful times of the year, because it is a time of rest and it's asking you to rest. And this is why people struggle with the winter phase of their body and the winter phase externally, because they can't rest and they don't want to do the inner reflection work of it. So it creates like restriction and resentment and confliction, because we're not able to just take that time. So I would encourage you to allow yourself to feel emotions, to feel your way through these areas of your life, because it will always come back to spring, then summer. Okay, whether or not you want it to or not, it will. Okay, but you also can block it. So it'll just keep being winter, fall, winter, fall, winter, fall. Like, we have to look at it and allow it to flow through the seasons. And I hope like this really helps you kind of open up to maybe situations that you're going through right now in the emotional space of seeing, okay, well, where am I right now? Did I have a breakthrough with something that I was feeling and I'm in the reaping of abundance of it and seeing a new perspective? Or am I currently going through something right now that feels heavy? It feels like it wants me to come inside for inner reflection and rest. Really look into the seasons of your own body and where you're at and learn how to navigate that, okay? It's going to help you so much with healing and being able to live your life. Because so many people are stuck in the winter phase, and then it splatters all on their external world, and then they just live in that victim mentality that life sucks, because they don't understand what's actually happening within the vessel, which is why I'm trying to strongly suggest to start understanding your body a lot more and how it speaks to you and what's showing up for it, because you will be able to navigate your life so much better with awareness. So on that note, that's going to be it for me. I hope you really enjoyed this one. This one was a very long one. I kind of felt it might be, and which is why this one's going to have multiple different videos, and we're just going to gradually start getting deeper into it. But I would really love to know your feedback on this, how it resonates with you, what kind of like lit up your mind of, wow, I never thought about that, and I could see that in my life. Let's start a discussion about it, because when we start a discussion, we then can start healing and stepping into that newer version of ourselves. And it's okay to have help and to open yourself and to be vulnerable in this space. You're welcomed, you are loved, and we are here to grow, okay? And also at the same time, I also do readings as well. $10 for your first time with me, 75% off, which is absolutely insane. And they are so in depth and lovely, and I'd love to experience that with you. You can just send me a DM or you can email me. And either way works for me. And on that note, I will see you later. Bye.